The official call is under review. Let's go to the monitor. SEC football. It just means more. Now back to your favorite bearded duo, Todd and Marty.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to, as Todd always says, another amazing show here at Under Review. My man on the top screen, left screen, if you're watching, is our friend Cody Meagler. He don't get an intro picture because he's more like a co-host. Cody, how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. Living the dream at Chick-fil-A.
Chicken and bread, my friend. Chicken and bread.
You talking about that?
Yeah, I did swing by this morning, grabbed a few fries and a fine Coke Zero for, them good diabeticals and what have you. So before we jump into things, let's do our sponsor. I got some new graphics there that I got Chuck. I showed them to Dad this morning and he just laughed. He said the first thing he noticed is what he was working on. He said, I don't even think I work on them.
I was trying not to laugh. This episode of the
Under Review podcast is brought to you by Chuck's Heating and Air. Chuck has over 40 years of service and experience with residential services. He services most makes and models. He is Alabama licensed, bonded, and insured, and locally owned and operated. Are you hot and you're supposed to be cool? Are you cool and you're supposed to be hot? Then you've got a problem. Call Chuck. Area code 256-892-2757. Again, 256-892-2757. Chuck's Heating and Air.
Again, thanks for Chuck's Heating and Air. Everything he does, always good quality service with him. Friendly smile. He may talk your ear off, but that's okay because money talks. So this week, guys, it's going to be a little bit different because technically there's two college football games out, but we're only going to look at one, the most important game. Oh, wait. I went backwards on this. But we are going to still look at that one game, but we want to go over a few things first because the Heisman Trophy is coming up this weekend. Go to our Facebook, get a poll in, pick your favorite. I think nationally there's a few things, but let's jump into the, I'm trying to think, 98th Heisman or something like that. All right, Cody, so there's our guys that we talked about earlier, the main four getting invited to New York. Oregon's Dillon Gabriel, Chicago. Colorado's both sides of the ball, Ironman player Travis Hunter, the speedster and bulldog Ashton Jeanty, and the high-powered arm of Cam Ward. So what are you looking at right here?
Okay, so I really like the four choices. Cam Ward was kind of one that I knew it was going to be hard to pick that fourth spot, but kind of glad that he took that. He really did show out for Miami. But the top three that we're looking at that, it's going to be between is Dillon Gabriel, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Jeanty. I really like Ashton Jeanty and Dillon Gabriel after their conference championship games. I can't say enough superb performance on both sides by these guys. Ashton Jeanty had a real pretty 75-yard touchdown against UNLV. And I think that, along with a couple of his other big breakout runs this season, could possibly seal him the Heisman.
I'm most definitely in that boat. Looking at statistics and what I've heard, I don't know what they look for. I mean, for me, I think one of the best qualifications is how well do you put your team in a winning spot to win ball games, the efforts you do. But I think this year it's a little different because of the Ironman player in Travis Hunter. I think the whole nation is concerned that he's got it. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. If he wins it, I'm not going to protest or anything. But I think the point was made. I was watching some other TikTok or something about in football. And, yes, I think your two final here are going to be Jeanty and Travis Hunter. Yes, Dillon Gabriel has done a lot for Oregon. And I still believe they're real top for a national title. But I think your final two is definitely going to be Hunter and Jeanty. But I don't know if it come from the Genty camp or some of his teammates, but they look at it like this. I do one spot and I do it well. I have 29 touchdowns, almost 2,500 rushing yards. I excel at one spot. I'm a 5-star at one spot. Then you flip it over and saying that, yes, Travis Hunter is good. I mean, 1,100 receiving yards and 4 interceptions from his defensive side. Really good. Maybe he plays a 3-star at both positions instead of a 4-star at one position. And I think the nation and the hoopla of him playing both sides of the ball, I don't think it hurts him, but I think it's kind of going to be lopsided. And personally, I think Travis Hunter is going to win because of the nation vote of him playing inside. But here at Under Review, I've talked to Todd. We think Ashton Genty has done the most for his team, a team that wasn't supposed to do super, super well as they have. I think Genty was one of my first picks during the pre-show before we even started having regular episodes with content. And so here at Under Review, I mean, we've got Travis Hunter. That's who we picked. But I think it stinks for kind of Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, which has done amazing. Nothing off them other two, but so much with Travis Hunter, him playing both sides of the ball is really going to have that shock and awe kind of thing. I think the nation's going to pick Hunter, but I definitely like Genty to win it.
I agree. I believe that. And one thing that I will say, and Genty brought this up in his interview, is he couldn't do it without the 5 guys up front, and I think he's got one of the best in college football right now to be able to get him the yardage and the rushes that he's got.
Oh yeah, and that's anything with a running back, and I love to see running backs give the linemen props because they know they wouldn't have 1 yard without them guys. I think there are a few better lines in. If you want to jump in, I think LSU's got a really good line, got a veteran line, and Will Simpson. Alabama's got a good line at times. But no, most definitely Genty here, and I do like that. He gets the props where it deserved. And really just not jumping off course, but once they won the championship the other day, the interview with the coach and the first person, his whole interview was faith-oriented, and I love that. I mean, not saying that other people's got away from it, but I mean, the first words out of that, we wouldn't be here without our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, which that is such a platform to excel and spread the word, which is amazing. I love that he's doing that for these young kids in that, trying to have some kind of inspiration for their life and have that influence. And I think it's just amazing that I was able to see that, and there are still people wanting to spread the word.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, because that teaches outside of football and everything. Like you said, not trying to get off, it teaches outside of football. It teaches you life, and you can't live life without your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
No, one of the biggest things, and again, here we go, squirreling off topic. When Tebow got banned from wearing the Bible verses on his face, I think it was the ACC championship where he got beat by Alabama, and that was the scene of him crying on the sideline, and I think he had the John 3:16 on his face. And I guess a couple months after that, some research come out that showing that during that weekend and stuff and through that next week that I think John 3:16 was Googled and searched over 4 or 5 million times. So just at the platform for that, just amazing things. I mean, like I said, don't want to get on tiring about it, but it's these kids have more of a platform now. And not say it's for that. Some people against it, some for it. I mean, I just like seeing it personally. I think it's a really good for the sport when there can be sometimes bad.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't remember what slide I got next, so we'll just run with it. All right, so the only game that we're covering this week, which there's only 2, this will be our game of the week. I don't know if I can put in some music, is for the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, one of the craziest, one of the most respectful ball games that you can watch, especially if you from the armed service, as Todd and Brandon both come that way. Todd through the Army and Brandon through the Navy. Excited about this game because both teams are really good. For respective conferences. Army and Navy were both ranked at one time this year. Super excited about this game. Army is heavily favored at 65%, close to 70%. I think it's Bryson Daly. I don't know if I'm saying right. The quarterback for Army. I mean, he's got them where they are. I mean, really accessible. I know, like an old man trying to see. 877 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. Not bad. And he's their leading rusher. So he is their Swiss Army knife for them. On the other side, Navy, Blake Horvath. Remember, we like talking about his name, but only 4. Yeah. 11 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1,100 yards. So really excel. And he's also their lead brother. God, I can't talk today. Leading rusher. So we have 2 highly talented quarterbacks going in, both a dual threat to a certain extent. I like Army here. They're the better team. I'm going to place my heart with Todd with Army. That's who I like. Like I said, and that's who ESPN and most of the other guys like as well. So what do you think here?
I'm sorry, you killed me. You killed me with that ESPN bit. I went back with the water boy, not trying to get off topic.
Squirrel.
Yeah. But I scrolled down and looked, and Navy's only lost 3 games this season. I don't know who they've lost to, really. But I know at one time early in the season they were both undefeated, and I had talked about with a couple of people, what would be kind of cool is if Army and Navy could have went into this game undefeated.
Yeah, I think you and I had that conversation.
What would happen with this game? Somebody's got to lose. But early on they both looked really good. I don't know what happened with Navy, but Army's only lost 1 game, and you said really and truly looking at some stats, they're both kind of dual threat quarterbacks. What are we going to look at defensively? Let's go that route. What are we going to look at defensively in this game? I'm thinking it's probably going to be a heavily defensive game. Very low scoring. But at the end, I think Army may pull it out because they've had a little bit better luck this season.
Most definitely. I think Army's defense is way better than Navy's offense, but they do have the talent there as far as Navy can jump on them. To be up in the rankings as good as they were for this Army team, which they played stellar, yes, with their strength of schedule as far as Navy's the same. They're kind of in that. This is going to be a super good matchup. Even it reflects that Army has 3 losses. Like I said, I'm not sure of them, but it's going to be super exciting. So you taking Navy?
Well, I'm actually taking Army.
Yes, I'm definitely an Army guy here. Not because of Todd or anything, but I think it's just the right pick. So now I got a little bit of fun for this. So let's jump into this. Dun, dun. I wish I had some clappy noises or something. So who wore it better? This is under review. I think with one of this games, Todd said put in a subject like this. I think this with these 2 uniform sets. So let's take a look at Army and Navy's uniforms for this game and see where they stack up, and let's see who wore it better. Oh, let me get a drink. Todd said I get long-winded. So these Army uniforms are the 101 Airborne uniforms. Me, as y'all know, my favorite, I like the black uniforms. This is super crisp, the flat on the helmet. I can't really super see that design, some kind of heart. I love the no names on the back, the trim gray gloves. And a fun fact, I don't guess I've ever paid attention to it, but Army don't put their name on the back. They put it on the front like their uniform wears, as they have their name patch and then the patches on the American flag on the right, and then I guess their service patch or what it is. I don't want to get too confused and people come after me because I don't understand. But this, to me, this 101 Airborne uniform is probably one of my favorite of the year.
Well, I'm looking here, and I know I was looking kind of confused there for a second, but I'm looking. Is that matte black?
I'm pretty sure. I think the helmet is a matte, and I don't know how this ties in, but if you're watching the screen for our guys on YouTube and stuff, and Spotify will try to explain a little bit better. It looks like a matte black with a silver silver lettering, trimmed. Looks like a black trim around it, and it looks like there's, I don't want to say paint, but it looks like a great, like snow has fallen on top of them. And it's like a snow colored white. And I think that's throughout the helmet. Oh, man, that's just clean to me.
Yeah, me being on my phone and everything, it was a little hard to see. So I was like looking at it kind of close, and then you stopped and you kind of looked at me funny. I was like,
yeah,
I'm still studying.
If you get a chance, once we get off, go look at it. But I think there's so many different pictures. So we broke down the Army uniform. Let's jump to the Jolly Roger uniform of Navy, which is super clean to me as well. The detail on these I do like the icy white they got going on. The skull and crossbones on the top shoulder. Their name is on the back. The accessories with this uniform, they wear the dark gloves, and I think this got the skull and crossbones as well. The helmet, really can't see too much, but I think there is the Navy logo on there with some kind of fighter pilot jet thing like in the middle part of the helmet. These are super well. I enjoyed the eye test. I enjoyed these too.
Well, I'm looking at this one kind of close too. I love matte black. My first year playing football was a matte black uniform, and I fell in love with it.
Yes, I did like them Odenville matte black uniforms.
And so I'm partial to those, but I'm just going to be honest with you. The helmet design with the fighter pilot looking thing that they got going on right there, that is probably my favorite uniform.
Right. I like I said, I am a black. I'm not a black guy. I like the black style uniform. But no, yes, if you can get another picture of the helmet has a lot of detail. There seems to be more work on the shoulder parts, and I guess like some of their patches or whatever. But yes, this is another top uniform for the year. And I know Todd likes the black course of the Army. I mean, if this was a close race, I still like the matte, the 101 Airborns, but you still can't go wrong with the other side on these Jolly Rogers either.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, but I'm gonna go ahead and if anything, cast my vote because that right there, I just love a good helmet design.
Yeah,
to me that brings out the uniform.
That is always one of my favorite parts of the uniform is the helmet. What they do, there's like I said. There's a lot of flack. I guess flack from Brittany about Oregon's uniforms they wore last week with the all black, and I think they had a silver helmet with the logo on the side green. She said, "I just don't like it." And I was drooling. I love their concept in uniforms. But anyway, like I said, we're jumping in blind. I don't remember what slide we got next, so let's jump into it. Todd's gonna kill me. All right, so. The first playoff bracket come out. We talked a little bit about it last week, jumping into this now that we got it fully set up. Break it down. Let's kind of, I don't know where we're at on time, but let's kind of slowly break through this and see what you like, what you don't like.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. After the Clemson SMU game, I was a little aggravated. I feel like Clemson, they played a really good game, but I don't think they played as clean as what the refs said they did. One penalty all game, and SMU I think had 6 or 7, and there was several questionable calls, and I believe SMU got ripped out of a chance to beat Clemson there. But very good ball game, and I do believe wholeheartedly SMU deserves to be in this playoff.
Oh, I think so. I know there's the red team's catching a lot of flack from a lot of folks about this, and I thought it was crazy what Greg Burns said, their athletic director. Well, we're not going to do any more non-conference games. I thought that was silly, pitching a tantrum. I wasn't fond of that, and I would have said that about anybody if anybody would have done that. But you are right. I thought SMU has had an amazing year. They really come back. I love walk-offs, but I hated seeing the underdog lose here in this situation to me because they're such a smaller school, but they really played through it, and I like SMU's chances against Penn State. So real quick, I look at it, and me and Todd talk about, what do you think is your easiest route to the national championship?
Right now, just in my opinion, I think Texas has got the easiest route to the national championship. You're taking on Clemson, I think, with a 2-loss team. They struggled against SMU. Like I said, not taking anything away from SMU. They're really
Mm-hmm.
good. But in my opinion, I don't think that they're, you know, the top 4. I honestly don't think Arizona State is either. I know they blew out in their conference game, but I don't think that they're top 4 material. I think Texas, in my opinion, has the easiest route. You get, if you beat Clemson, you got Arizona State. Then you've got the winner of, the Oregon game, which I think most likely is going to be Oregon. That's going to be your toughest spot right there. Do you beat Oregon and get into the semifinal game before going to the championship, which I believe that semifinal game is going to be against Georgia. You know, does Texas see Georgia again in the semifinals? And I think that that's where it starts. Yeah, and
That's crazy.
in reality, that's a possibility right here.
Yeah. I remember me and Todd joking about, before we even started recording, getting this idea up and talking about the playoff bracket. It could be a season that we see Auburn and Alabama play 3 times a year. That would be madness in this state. But no, you are right. I don't think that is the easiest route, but it can be. Um, yes, I think the conference schedule for Arizona State did play in their favor a little bit. Not saying that they had an easy route there, but the championship game they played lights out. That was one of the electrifying games as far as being a blowout. Man, some of them hits in that game made my no toes hurt. I mean, because they was hitting folks hard. But I think Todd and I pointed, I think the easiest route might be Georgia. Because I think that 7-10 matchup is a crap game. I think Indiana's crap. Their strength of schedule is weaker than puppy piss. So, I mean, Notre Dame's going to win that. Depending on what Beck's status is for Georgia, which not taking anything away from Stockton, who stepped in.
Well, I was going to say, let me tell you, Stockton for Georgia played lights out in that second half. Only had
Mhm.
1 pick against Texas.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, I said that he was more of a man than I was to step up in there on that QB draw and take that hit on the 2-yard line.
Let me tell you, it was this number. I had thought, though, because like I said, me and Brittany watched a lot of games that day. I don't understand. What should I do? It said it stopped recording, so just hang in there. But no, I thought there was a hit in the Arizona State game that was brutal. Why you still good? Says you're recording.
Yeah, I'm still good. I don't know how. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I got to.
It's fine, but like I said, we'll run through it anyway. But no, the hit in the Arizona State game where the guy got called for targeting, that end, they should have, like I said before, they should have penalized the offensive line because he was not touched. He didn't even, nobody waved at him or nothing. And he hit that quarterback so hard. I really thought he was going to have a hospital visit. It looked like a clean hit to me. Looked like a good football hit, from back in the day. But beside the point, yes, that the Connor Stockton, what a heck of a play. Putting it out on for his team and getting that win, driving Georgia. It was a spark they needed, and they really got. I really thought after Beck's injury that it could be, oh no, here comes Texas. But Stockton lit a fire on them guys, and I really like it. I think Boise State will be a really good game with Georgia. Like I said, all this does depend on Beck, but I don't know. That would have to be a thinker for that game. And not that Oregon has the hardest, but maybe the most challenging if Tennessee can upset Ohio State, which we've talked about Ohio State this year. Good ball team. Ryan Day's a crazy man, but Will Howard is that leader for them. Arizona State, I mean, it could be tough. I mean, both Clemson and Texas could be tough for them, but no, I think Georgia's got the easiest. I think probably the toughest, I would say Oregon, but in my opinion, I like Oregon for the championship. I just think Dylan Gabriel has really, really come alive, and running back James has, just run slap folks over and all kind of stuff. So I do like that. That's probably going to be my pick. I'm not sure if it's Todd's pick. I don't remember him talking too much about it, but he's fairly high on Boise State as well in some aspects. But I like Oregon. I mean, it's going to be fun once these games start happening and really weeding out who shouldn't be there. Indiana.
Well, yes, Indiana, I do agree, should not be there. They did not have a tough schedule at
No.
all. And I agree with Greg Byrne in a sense, and Nick Saban is the one that kind of got Greg Byrne to do that, is because of what he said on game day. He said, does strength of schedule not matter? Like, does it not matter? And a lot of teams feel that way now, especially Alabama. But Alabama did it to themselves with that loss to Oklahoma.
I was just about to bump you off the road here because, like I said, yes, the loss to Vandy was pretty big at the time. Then you go in, have a really decent game against Tennessee. You do lose that game, and then I won't say turn around and lose to Oklahoma, but you still had a couple weeks. But is what drives me nuts about this Alabama team is that week before that you played LSU and you played lights out. That is the best Alabama game I have seen as far as how Jalen Milroe did. The defense stuck up. And then you turn around and lay that goose egg. Didn't even score a touchdown. You looked, as probably the worst performance of an Alabama team I have ever seen. Brittany even said the same. It was awful. I think at the end of the day, yes, all three of these games were conference games, and yes, that did hurt that part of it. But still, I think, like you said, the bitter end of that Oklahoma game was, I guess, where the committee took that. I mean, if they were in, that's fine, but I think it really hurt them to lose to that 5-5 Oklahoma team, who they'll make a bowl game, but that was just really the devastating point for Alabama. I mean, a lot of other teams didn't too much complain. Yes, they were that bubble team, you know. But I said, I get where you're coming from with the Byrne statement. I see what Nick Saban says.
Yeah, but like I said, that I understand why they feel the way that they do, but at the same time, like I said, you got to play a little bit better against teams like Oklahoma. And I understand you can prepare and they throw something at you that you haven't seen on film. I get it. But halftime adjustments have to be made, and it didn't look like there was any made. You didn't score a touchdown in the whole game. So, and that's where I think the committee drew that line. Do I feel like Alabama would have competed a little bit better in this playoff bracket than Indiana or, Clemson? Maybe. But, hey, you got a bowl game this year. It's DeBoer's first season as a head coach. Take the bowl game, build off of it, and then let's go to next season. Right now, this is the bracket that you got, and we're going to focus on this bracket. We're not going to say what if Alabama was in, or what if Miami was in. Let's even turn that.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that, like you said, the 7-10 game right here is going to be a battle of the. I was going to say it's the battle of the worst two teams in the college football playoff bracket.
It'd be like Colin fighting them trash bags in the dumpster.
I mean, worse than that.
Right. But no, I totally get it. But they said they wanted the 12 best teams, and everybody knows who listens to us, who knows me, is I'm not an Alabama fan by any means. But compared to some of these teams in there, just because of their strength of schedule or their record, it's crap. Because I really thought Alabama could be most definitely a better team than Indiana. I think they are a better team than Notre Dame. I mean, Penn State's kind of close. They only had the 2 losses, I believe. But still, I thought Alabama would have been a better fit for this playoff because they are the better team. And you won't hear me say that a lot, but right is right.
Oh, yeah. But I'm going to say this. You said that Georgia has the easiest route. We were on that topic. Who has the easiest route? Who wins this bracket? If we're looking at that, uh, and looking at who potentially wins this thing, I think you're going to come down to, I'm going to give you three choices and leave it on the podcast. Texas, Oregon, and Georgia are my three that could potentially win this thing.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. But if it makes it to a Texas Oregon semifinal, it won't shock me. But that would be a game I would love to watch because I think I like Georgia and Oregon for the national title. Man, again, that could be an explosive game. Again, we've seen Georgia struggle a lot through this year, but they found what it takes to win. Uh, and it's not out of the realm for Texas to be there. So,
Well,
eh,
this is just my opinion. If Texas makes it to play Oregon, and if they make it past Oregon with Quinn Ewers, they're going to be lucky. But in order to beat Georgia, if they play Georgia for a semifinal or a national title game, they're going to have to play Arch Manning. And I believe they're going to have to play him if they play Oregon.
yeah, well, most
Arch,
definitely. I think the same as well as far as playing Arch because I think they were looking for that spark in the ACC championship to have Arch come in. He really didn't do much. I think he had 2 receptions, maybe 16, 17 yards, something. I think they were stalling out and looking for something. But you are right. They have that weapon in Manning. If Quinn's struggling, let's find a way to work this out.
yeah, I agree. And I'm not saying that Ohio State or Penn State or Tennessee couldn't make it, but I just think if we're going to give our best games and our best predictions of who could win this thing, yeah, I'm sticking with Clemson, Georgia, and Oregon. It's hard
Yeah,
to really pick a final until after the first couple
right.
of games and see where things go. But I honestly think if we're gonna pick who could potentially be there, then I'm gonna say those three.
Yeah, I most definitely like that. You can't go wrong with them. Um, I want to jump in. We're kind of getting close to that wrap up time, but we got the 12 teams here. Luke, do you have a sleeper team who could sneak into a semifinal out of these 12?
Um, yeah, I have two,
All right, what you got?
Boise and SMU.
Hmm. I had two, but I got Boise, but Tennessee. Yeah, I think Tennessee can take care of Ohio State and then get to Oregon, be a duel. Nico really steps up, and Tennessee's defense has played well all year, so I'm not really afraid of that. But on the other hand, it is Dylan Gabriel, a Heisman front runner here. Uh, and then on the other side, Dylan Sampson has done so much for Tennessee, so I like Tennessee and Boise for that. So I think that's going to be my sleepers, and like I said, you can't go wrong with Boise here.
Yeah, the only thing with Tennessee is they drew in my opinion, the toughest bracket. You got
Yes,
Ohio
yes.
State first. They're gonna beat you up. And then depending on if you have, I mean, you don't go from a bye week, you go straight into Oregon. You play
Oh,
two physical Big Ten teams right back to back.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that takes a toll on Tennessee.
Yeah, most definitely. I could agree there, but um, I'm super excited for these games. I mean, pretty good insight there. Just real quickly, me and Todd, we heard it. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but all right, you take the next 12 teams, the rest of your top, you take the 25 and take from 13 to 25 and have like an NIT tournament. A smaller scale. Just something that would be fun if teams would even play in it, how they get to do that. So I thought that would just be fun to kind of mention if they ever went to something like that. Still, even have your bowl games invest in that to be a tournament style. Oh, that's my timer. So we're gonna kind of move along. I don't even remember what slides I got. So All right, fans, we're kind of rounding down to our Alexa off. Getting close to the end of the episode, and we have 2 teams done. Alabama and Arkansas has already got their logo picked for the tournament. And this week, we're going to get finished up here with Auburn. I think it should be time. Maybe I don't know, but it really apparently is. Todd told me it really blew up on Facebook. There's like almost nearly close to 1,000 votes on this. If you hadn't got your votes, get them in so we can get squared away on the recap show to find our winner for this. Of course, populars are going to be your retros, and some of your newer currents, but we're going to move on. All right, so Cody, again, man, thanks a lot for all your help, especially short notice, because, we fly by the seat of our pants here at Under Review and taking some time with us. Are you still there, my friend?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I was reading your little special thanks thing. I was like, man.
You like that? Look at me.
Oh, that was pretty sharp. We didn't have that last time.
No. I said I've been working super hard on my graphics and trying to do better. But so let me jump into that real quick. So again, another special thanks to Chuck's Heating and Air and everything he does for us. Remember, just call Chuck, Hunter, Nick down at the Dadpod. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Hayden Coker, HCS Media, man, I hope Stillwater's doing you nice. Hope you're keeping things in order. Again, for our creative team, Brandon, Trammell, and Jud Dickinson, always there for us when we need us. But most of all, I want to thank you, the fans. We couldn't do none of this without you. All the support we're getting, man, we still enjoy it. We're still seeing the polls and stuff like that. Awesome every week. So y'all keep doing what you're doing. And also, fans, remember, if you're out there listening and want to be a part of Under Review, we still have our merch going. We do have a sale with merch, do a hat and shirt combo. Any sponsors out there, Lumaran, want to get involved, please get in contact us. We will, jump through hoops to help you get figured out. So, all right, Cody, I'm going to play the outro, man, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for making the call to go Under Review. Join us next time as we go to the monitors. Until then, keep your flag handy.